Hey everyone, it's me Hallease, endeavoring to persevere. So sorry that this mic is kind of here. I just want to make sure that whether I'm looking at the computer screen or looking at y'all, you can hear me. So what do people usually say? What does Peter McKinnon say? Smash that like button. I don't know. Anyway, in this video, I'm just going to show you a quick tutorial of how I achieve the overall aesthetic of a lot of my films. It's actually very simple. It's a combination of presets that are already built into Premiere and adjustment layers. And it's kind of the same aesthetic I used on my Veda video from yesterday, which is how I wrap my head wraps. So without further ado, let's just get right on into it. This is really easy. I really like using these presets because it kind of gives your videos this sort of film look, like makes them kind of have this appearance that that you actually went out and shot them on film, which I didn't do that. I have the project from yesterday. I'm gonna go ahead and open it. I would show you the pretty opening Premiere thing, but it's on my other screen down here, so you can't see it. I'm just recording on this one. Sorry about that. Again, working through the kinks on this. So, church, pray for me, all right? At the end of the day, you getting a tutorial. Amen? All right, so here we go. Okay, so here's my project, and down here is my timeline. This was the other cut I did for promotional purposes. We don't really need that anymore. Let me go ahead and resave this actually while I'm thinking about it. Save as head wraps tutorial. Is that how you spell tutorial? You know how sometimes you look at a word and then you're like, you've seen it so many times, you're like, is that how you spell it? Like, really though? You know? So here is the finished film that y'all saw. As you can see, it has the bars, it has those like film bars on there and all of that, and it's got like, yeah, this sort of like film kind of grain look to it. The way I achieve that is very, very simple. We're gonna get rid of it. So this is what the actual footage looks like. You know, so if you go to your project, and you click on your sequence. Excuse my messy project. I usually actually like to have it a lot more organized than that, but it's fine because this was such a quick video. But yeah, click on your sequence, make sure it's highlighted, and then head up to File, Adjustment Layer. And it's gonna bring up some adjustment layer settings. 1920 by 1080 is what I shoot most of my videos at. 23.9 is what I shoot most of my videos at. Square pixels, yeah. Hit OK. And then you have this adjustment layer that pops up. And we're gonna go ahead and call this bars and color. We're gonna go ahead and call this bars and color grading. So when I click on this layer, everything that I do now to it, as far as color grading and effects go, it'll impact everything below it, which is the cut of the film itself. So the first thing I wanna do is add my color grading, quote unquote. If you go to your lumetri color scopes, which are all over here, if this panel doesn't pop up for you, go to window and it is right there, lumetri color, and that'll make it pop up for you. So yeah, you have this show up, and I'm not gonna really mess with the basic color correction because I more or less like the way all of this looks. I don't really need to mess with the color temperature or anything like that because I tried to make sure I shot it, you know, to where the whites are white and the blacks are black and all that kind of fun stuff. But what I am gonna mess with is this creative, the next one down. And here is my secret sauce, if you will, about how I get my films to look like films as much as I can within the budget that I have. And that is I use the Kodak 5218 2395. And Kodak, if y'all don't know, is a film company. They're still around, kinda, sorta, maybe. And this is basically a preset to make your stuff look like Kodak film. So I put that on, but usually when I put it on, it makes it a little too intense for me. I don't usually like it to be at 100% intensity, or you can up it and then that's like super film, you know. I don't usually like it to be that high. I usually keep it around 60%. That's where I just like to have it. So let me turn it off and you can see that's what it added. And then another thing I also add is I add a little bit of the faded film to it as well, about 20% usually. So you see that kind of gives it, I don't know, that just kind of gives it that sort of grain look, just a smidge. It's funny because it's just like film with its imperfections look a little, it just looks more natural. I don't know. Comment below how you feel about it, but that's how I feel about it. And that's literally it. That's kind of the tutorial. The way to do the bars, the cinematic bars that you usually see, let me turn this off so you can see the whole thing. And oh, by the way, that's the title safety. If you're putting graphics, you usually want to have them inside this second box here. But that's more for like TV and stuff. It doesn't really apply to the internet anymore. It doesn't really apply because we have the internet now. But I don't know. I'm old-fashioned, I guess. Anyway, now let's add those bars at the top and bottom of our clip. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna make sure your adjustment layer is still highlighted, and then you're gonna go to your effects panel. Mine is here in the left-hand corner. If for some reason yours is not where it needs to be, window effects. It's where you can find that. And then you're going to go to the crop tool. I usually just type it in because it's faster than trying to find it. And then I'm gonna drag it onto my adjustment layer that I've made. And now we're gonna go to our effect controls panel. If you don't know where that is, again, window, effect controls. Make sure this is highlighted so the effect controls for whatever is on this come up here. As you can see our luminantry color, you can see it here as well, what we did, right? You're gonna go to the crop tool, and for the top and bottom, I usually have it at around 7%. So you see 7% top, 7% bottom. Boom. So now we went from this to this, and we have that cinematic look. So yeah, that's how we go from this to this. And something I like to do is, so here, play a little bit. Cool. Something I also like to do though is I like to like have the bars sort of lead in a little bit so they're not there in the beginning, and then like get you in the mood to be in a traditional film environment but on your phone or tablet or wherever you watch my videos. So I like to have the bars sort of just come into the frame, and that's just simple keyframing, really easy. So we're gonna go to our crop, and let's take off this, zoom in a little bit here. Let's take off this cross dissolve so that way you can always see me. All right, so we're gonna go back to our crop, and remember we have it at 7% here. We're gonna put a keyframe like, I don't know, like a couple seconds, and we're gonna hit our keyframe, our little stopwatch. This is like a keyframe indicator. And then we're gonna go back to the very beginning and hit it again, but this time make sure that for the front it's 0. And we're gonna hit play. Look at that. Voila. Now, something that I think will be super cool if Premiere ever adds this is motion blur. Right now, you can't really get that. And motion blur is just an effect that just whenever you're doing these little makeshift graphics in Premiere, it just kind of gives it a little more like natural, just kind of like finesse, you know, like smear. Think about like smear, you know? So it's not like pixel, 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 pixel moving, you know? It just gives it a natural sort of finish. Can't really do that in Premiere yet. I heard maybe that they could possibly maybe do it one day. For now, if you want to achieve that, you have to do it in After Effects. But what I still like to do though is ease in and ease out of things, which again is usually a lot better in After Effects, but you can still do it here in Premiere, and it just makes the animation just a little bit more smooth, you know. So you want to ease out of this. It's opposite of what you would think, and ease in to this. And so now again, it's a minuscule difference, but I see it. I see it, you know? That's it. That's a video. That's a video. That's a tutorial. So there you go. Go ahead and save that. Export or close. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's how I achieve the sort of like cinematic look, if you will, of my films when I choose to call them films. You know, sorry that my lighting is also not ideal. Again, I'm in a new co-working space, so I'm just trying to figure that out. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. You don't need to know all that. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you know, like, share, subscribe, and things like such as. Any other tips and tricks you would like me to show you in Premiere, just in editing in general, let me know. I do like doing this sort of like producer's commentary and whatnot. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.